Caitlin Clark has finally addressed everything that unfolded after Team USA's game against Puerto Rico, and her response caught many fans completely off guard. Just one game earlier, she had taken the court against Senegal and delivered one of the most remarkable debuts in recent international basketball history, rewriting multiple FIBA records in the process. Everywhere she went, attention followed her. Fans packed arenas hoping to see her play, cameras tracked her every move, and even the daughter of Puerto Rico's head coach showed up proudly holding a Clark sign. FIBA had already embraced her as the face of the tournament, and the excitement surrounding her presence was impossible to ignore. Before stepping onto the floor for Team USA, Caitlin Clark had been away from competitive basketball for nearly 8 months.
The game was a little clunky. I felt like we probably didn't play our best. I thought Paige played really well, but it felt good. I mean, I obviously probably didn't shoot it as well as I would have liked. I think their zone kind of threw us off. I thought it kind of slowed down our pace a little bit. We didn't get as much in transition, so I think if like another team plays on, just continue to play with a lot of pace and don't let them set these out.
Significant amount of time for any athlete, especially one who had been dealing with a series of injuries that interrupted her second WNBA season. First came the groin issue, then problems with her leg, followed by an ankle setback. As a result, she appeared in only a limited number of games before being sidelined for an extended period. Because of that lengthy absence, there were genuine questions about what version of Clark would show up in her return. Would she look rusty after so much time away? Would it take a few games for her timing and confidence to come back? Could she immediately return to the level that made her one of the biggest stars in basketball? Those questions disappeared almost instantly. The numbers from Clark's debut were impressive enough on their own, but the context makes them even more remarkable. She finished the game with 17 points and 12 assists, impacting nearly every aspect of Team USA's offense whenever she was on the floor. Yet perhaps the most astonishing statistic was her ball security.
We've got 5 new players checked in for Team USA, and if you can hear the crowd, Caitlin Clark checks in to her first minutes as a senior USA national team player. There's a lot of fans here for Caitlin Clark. I see signs, I see Indiana jerseys, I see Iowa jerseys. One of the most influential women's basketball players that we've seen, and she's here right now getting her first minutes.
During the first half, she recorded 8 assists without committing a single turnover. Not one. Against international competition, while returning from an 8-month layoff, she was creating scoring opportunities at an elite level while completely protecting the basketball. That achievement wasn't just impressive by tournament standards, it was historic. After reviewing their records, FIBA determined that no player in any qualifying game had ever recorded that many assists in a single half. The records Caitlin Clark set against Senegal went far beyond a single impressive stat line.
Ryan Howard, back to Clark. Clark into Irvin, and Irvin off the glass, the ball movement.
Her 12 assists placed her at the top of several historic categories simultaneously. She became the all-time leader for assists in a Team USA senior national team debut, a remarkable achievement considering the long list of elite players who have worn that jersey over the years. Her performance also established a new benchmark for assists in any senior national team debut across all countries participating in FIBA competition.
The 5-in, 5-out substitution pattern, Danilo, what does that say about the depth of this team when you have Caitlin Clark coming off the bench?
That's an easy shot for her deep three.
The deep three is like a layup for her, though.
One of the biggest reasons Clark's performance stood out was the way Team USA looked whenever she was directing the offense. During the second quarter, head coach Kara Lawson deployed a lineup featuring Clark alongside Ryan Howard, Kelsey Plum, Kiki Iriafen, and Monique Billings. The chemistry between that group was noticeable almost immediately. The ball moved faster, players cut with purpose, and the offense flowed with a level of pace that consistently put pressure on Senegal's defense. Clark's ability to stretch defenses with her shooting range created additional opportunities for everyone around her. Defenders had to respect her deep shooting ability, often picking her up far beyond the three-point line. That extra attention opened driving lanes and passing angles that otherwise wouldn't have existed. What made Clark's debut so impressive wasn't just the statistics or the records.
The defender and finding the right player.
Clark over to Billings, and Clark Although she's the NCAA all-time leading scorer, she is an assist machine. The offensive rebound gives the USA another chance. Angel Reese makes the most of it. And that's Caitlin Clark's 9 assists.
The manner in which she returned after such a long layoff and instantly looked comfortable controlling a high-level international game. Most athletes require time to rebuild rhythm and confidence after months away from competition. Clark looked as if she had never left. Her timing, decision-making, and court awareness all appeared fully intact from the moment she stepped onto the floor. That performance also reinforced why FIBA had placed so much attention on her heading into the tournament.
Patient, find the right shot.
Caitlin Clark's got the ball over to Beckers. Beckers sets up the three, and it's nothing but...
Reels frequently featured Clark, and much of the public interest surrounding Team USA centered around her participation. As Team USA prepared for its next game against Puerto Rico, there appeared to be a straightforward path forward. Clark had just delivered one of the most productive debuts in FIBA history, operating the team's most efficient offensive stretches and demonstrating complete control of the game whenever she was on the court.
As exciting as that first Team USA game was, this one was almost completely in the other direction as far as how ugly it was. The US squad just out of sync, top to bottom. Kara Lawson's experimenting with lineups and different combinations.
Questions about her readiness had already been answered. The focus shifted toward how the coaching staff planned to build on that success. Many fans expected Team USA to place the ball in Clark's hands even more frequently. After all, she had just recorded 12 assists while protecting the basketball at an elite level. The evidence from the Senegal game suggested that the offense functioned best when she was allowed to dictate tempo and create opportunities for her teammates. The atmosphere surrounding the Puerto Rico game was electric from the opening moments.
When jealousy meets envy, you get what you saw last night. Caitlin Clark being shunned out of the game, iced out of the game, ignored, teammates refusing to pass her the ball. We got Angel Reese taking it coast to coast, Caitlin Clark right next to her, refusing to give her the ball, going, pushing, giving it to Diarca Hamby, and the ball it's a turnover. What we saw yesterday was the definition of jealousy meeting.
Fans filled the arena eager to see Clark build on her historic debut. A dedicated cameraman followed her throughout warm-ups and introductions, while signs supporting her could be spotted throughout the crowd. Perhaps the most surprising detail was that even the daughter of Puerto Rico's head coach reportedly arrived carrying a sign in support of Clark, highlighting just how much attention she had attracted during the tournament. Everything seemed set up for another memorable performance. Yet once the game started, the energy that had defined the previous matchup quickly.
Copper, this is horrible. 3 people on you. Caitlin Clark is wide open. Don't pass her the ball. Caitlin Clark with a great block. And then Caitlin Clark with a great steal. They'll say she doesn't play defense, so I threw in some defensive highlights. And then she gets hit in the head. Why is it always her head that's getting hit in every game she's ever played in?
Many observers initially pointed to Puerto Rico's defensive strategy as the primary reason Team USA struggled offensively. The Puerto Rican squad frequently employed zone defenses, applied pressure, and attempted to disrupt passing lanes whenever possible. Those tactics certainly created challenges, but a growing number of fans believed the issues extended beyond what the opposing defense was doing. According to that perspective, the biggest problem wasn't necessarily Puerto Rico's scheme.
Right here, well, 4 right here, that's our 5th player. Then we have 2 behind here, so we running 5v3 right now, right? We 5v3, so we have numbers. If we just figured out what was going on right here, we would have been in good shape. But with this confusion, Caitlin slowing down so Angel can cross, we allowed the defense to get back into position. Now the thing is, Puerto Rico was running a pretty nice zone in the second quarter, late in the second quarter. And honestly, the best way to beat any type of defense is to keep them on their heels when you get a rebound or you get a steal, turning the defense into offense. That's the best way to beat any type.
Critics argued that Team USA's offensive decisions and player usage contributed significantly to the struggles. Possessions often lacked the movement and creativity that had been so effective against Senegal. One of the most common complaints from fans centered on the offensive approach being taken by veteran players during key stretches of the game. Critics argued that possessions frequently became isolation-heavy, with players attempting to create offense individually rather than through ball movement and teamwork.
What I want to show is this, man. This clip right here had me rolling a little bit. Now, this is in the second quarter, okay? Mind you, the second quarter. We're going to go right back into what happened in the first quarter, right? So, Caitlin coming out, giving some daps, right? Bang, bang, bang. Let's go, team. Let's go, team. Boom. Smack Mo. And we were waiting on Angel, and nah, man. Hey.
As a result, many opportunities to involve Clark as a playmaker seemed to disappear. Several sequences particularly frustrated viewers because Clark appeared open on the perimeter or in positions where she could initiate offensive actions, yet the ball never reached her. Whether intentional or simply a consequence of the flow of the game, fans quickly noticed the pattern. Beyond the offensive frustrations, Clark also found herself involved in several physical moments throughout the game. During one sequence, she absorbed contact that once again drew attention from fans who feel she frequently receives a disproportionate amount of physical play from opponents.
I thought Puerto Rico played very, very hard, and they played hard the entire time. They challenged us with their effort, and I thought they made a lot of hustle plays to create baskets for themselves. And this was more of an uneven game for us on both ends. We talked about it as a team, and I thought we had some good spots, but I also thought we had some rough spots, and that's good. It's good to have rough spots sometimes. You're able to kind of figure some things out, and we're still figuring things out.
Clark takes a hard hit. Social media immediately erupts with debate about whether officials are doing enough to protect one of the sport's biggest stars. Those discussions resurfaced during the Puerto Rico game as viewers pointed out multiple instances of contact involving Clark. Another source of controversy emerged from several possessions involving Angel Reese. Fans watching the game in real time began sharing clips online, highlighting moments where they believed Clark was open and could have received the basketball.
You see all the publicity Caitlin Clark's getting today? Did you see the news? Everybody's talking about Caitlin Clark. We can't have that. The transition offense, Caitlin Clark making passes that nobody in the league has ever seen before. We can't have that. Slow it down, Carol Lawson. Switch it up. We got to make everybody else shine. We don't want her. Everybody else needs to shine. Today's night, it's gonna be Paige's night and Angel's night. Yeah. What a brutal game, folks. What a brutal game.
Those clips spread rapidly across social media platforms, fueling heated discussions about decision-making and player chemistry within Team USA's offense. Supporters of Clark argued that there were multiple opportunities where a pass in her direction would have been the preferred basketball play. Critics of that viewpoint countered that split-second decisions happen constantly during games and should not automatically be interpreted as intentional. Regardless of which side people supported, the online reaction was intense. By halftime, social media was filled with debates over individual possessions, with many fans convinced that Clark was not being utilized as effectively as she should have been.
Yeah, let's take another look at this one. Angel Reese, strong to the basket. She was the leading scorer at halftime for this Senegalese team. She's got 5 points right now and 3 fouls, so something to look forward to. Can't be quite as aggressive as Monique Bill.
As the game continued, many fans began focusing on Clark's body language whenever she returned to the floor. Supporters who were already frustrated by the offensive struggles started closely analyzing every interaction, searching for clues about how she felt regarding the situation. Some viewers claimed that Clark appeared more reserved than usual, choosing to focus entirely on the game rather than engaging in conversations or visible reactions with teammates.
Angel Reese is playing the point guard. She's not looking Caitlin Clark's way one time, deliberately not passing her the ball.
Whether those interpretations were accurate or not, they quickly became part of the broader discussion surrounding the game. Every movement was being examined through the lens of the growing controversy. The discussion intensified even further after the final buzzer when reporters questioned Team USA head coach Cara Lawson about Clark and her role within the team. Fans expected detailed answers, especially considering the historic performance Clark had delivered just one game earlier. Instead, Lawson emphasized that the coaching staff was still evaluating combinations, experimenting with rotations, and gathering information about how different groups function together. Those comments immediately sparked debate. Supporters of Clark pointed to her record-breaking debut as evidence that many questions had already been answered. Stephanie White's presence on the Team USA coaching staff also drew significant attention from basketball fans. As Clark's coach with the Indiana Fever, White's relationship with Clark's development had already been the subject of extensive discussion throughout the WNBA season.
Stated, I think Caitlin probably could have threw that ball past everybody, got it to Hamby, and then boom, we're going to work on the mouse in the house, right? But instead, we had Angel come up, slow the game down, slow the offense down, and Hamby ended up throwing the point guard to the floor. We got an offensive foul. So I just think it was a way to dodge that if we had Caitlin having a...
Many Fever supporters had spent months debating how Clark should be utilized and whether she was most effective as a primary ball handler or in a more balanced offensive role. Because of that history, fans naturally connected White's presence on the Team USA bench to what they were seeing during the Puerto Rico game. By the time the game ended, frustration among Clark's supporters had reached a high level. From their perspective, several separate issues seemed to be occurring simultaneously. They questioned the offensive decision-making, criticized the lack of ball movement, debated specific possessions involving teammates, and scrutinized the comments made by coaches afterward. Individually, each issue might not have generated significant controversy. Together, however, they created a narrative that quickly gained momentum online. For many fans, the timing made everything feel even more significant. These concerns surfaced immediately after Clark had delivered one of the most historic performances in recent FIBA memory. Because expectations were so high following her debut, any reduction in offensive efficiency naturally attracted more attention. The combination of circumstances fueled speculation and ensured that the Puerto Rico game would remain a major topic of conversation long after it ended.
Brianna Jones. Caitlin Clark gets in the passing lane, goes coast to coast for the and one opportunity. Makes the layup off the glass. She asked her teammates, did that go in? Now she gets a chance at the foul line. She wanted the intentional. I think she got hit in the head there, but let's take another look. Caitlin Clark jumps the passing lane, coast to coast. Let's see. Oh, the referee got in the way to see that. She did get hit in the head. She's making a case for herself, but...
Supporters pointing to Clark's impact frequently referenced the contrast between the Senegal game and the Puerto Rico matchup. When reviewing the film, many believed the difference in offensive flow was obvious. Against Senegal, Clark consistently pushed the pace, moved the ball quickly, and identified opportunities before defenders could react. Her ability to process the game at high speed helped create easy scoring chances for teammates throughout the lineup. Whenever she initiated offense, the team appeared more dynamic and unpredictable. Defenses were forced to react to her vision, passing ability, and shooting range simultaneously. Several teammates benefited directly from Clark's playmaking during her debut performance. Players were receiving open looks, easy baskets near the rim, and scoring opportunities created through quick decision-making. Her presence stretched the floor in ways that created additional space for everyone else. Defenders couldn't afford to ignore her shooting, which opened driving lanes and passing angles across the court. Against Puerto Rico, many fans felt that same offensive rhythm disappeared.
I feel like some of the mistakes that you guys made was something that Puerto Rico was doing, or were some of them also a little self-inflicted?
I think it was mostly self-inflicted. I thought we missed some defensive coverages, and then I think especially with how much we fouled too, like it really limits us, especially in transition when we're really fast. And, it's hard to push, especially off of the main free throws we're sitting in the press.
It was obviously a big win by a large margin for Team USA, but what can you say about what you saw about Team Puerto Rico tonight?
Yeah, I thought they played with a lot of fire. I thought they were aggressive. I thought the crowd was incredible. The fans were great, so really fun environment.
The pace slowed considerably, possessions lasted longer, and Team USA often found itself operating against a set defense. Supporters also pointed toward advanced statistics from the Senegal game as evidence of Clark's influence. One number frequently cited was her plus-minus rating. In only 19 minutes of action, Clark finished with a remarkable positive differential, suggesting that Team USA significantly outperformed its opponent whenever she was on the floor. While no single statistic tells the entire story, fans viewed that number as confirmation of what they believed they were seeing with their own eyes. When fans described the Puerto Rico offense as clunky, they were referring to a variety of issues that appeared throughout the game.
Yeah, I think taking care of the ball is probably going to be our main focus. I think we could have moved the ball a little bit better. I don't know how many assists we had, but I thought we could have probably passed the ball a little bit better. I think about these games, the paint was really clogged, and we want to get easy finishes at the rim, but I think also getting the paint, but be ready to kick it out. I think that's what we do.
And would you say that it was due to Puerto Rico's defense or just offense not
Puerto
falling?
Rico did a great job, but also I think we could be better offensively.
Possessions often slowed down, ball movement became inconsistent, and opportunities to attack before the defense was fully set seemed less frequent than they had been against Senegal. The result was an offense that struggled to generate the same level of fluidity and efficiency against Senegal. Clark frequently transformed defensive pressure into immediate scoring opportunities by advancing the ball quickly and making decisive passes. The transition game became one of Team USA's greatest strengths. Against Puerto Rico, those moments were far less common. Instead of consistently creating advantages through pace, Team USA often found itself navigating crowded half-court possessions that produced mixed results.
It's about doing different lineups, different rotations, test out that chemistry. Just how did you feel tonight, yesterday, with all those different
Yeah, I think
rotations?
it's going to be a work in progress with everybody trying to kind of find the flow a little bit, especially when we're going 5 in, 5 out. But, you know, you got to be flexible. That's kind of what USA basketball is all about. Some games you're going to play a lot, some games you're not going to play as much. You might come off the bench, you might start. So you got to be ready when your numbers call. But I think everybody's done a good job of that. And we don't even know the starting lineup until we're in the locker room before the game. So you just get ready and go out and play.
Some observers also expressed concern about how Team USA's offensive issues might translate against stronger opponents later in the tournament. Puerto Rico provided challenges, but upcoming matchups could potentially feature more disciplined defensive units capable of exploiting offensive inefficiencies even more effectively. If Team USA struggled to maintain rhythm against pressure and zone defenses, future opponents would undoubtedly take notice. From that perspective, many fans viewed the Puerto Rico game as a valuable learning opportunity. They believed it highlighted the importance of pace, ball movement, and playmaking within the offense. Whenever Clark touched the ball, supporters felt the team generally looked more organized and connected. What surprised many people most was the contrast between what fans believed they had witnessed and the comments that followed afterward. Despite the extensive debate surrounding Clark's role, Lawson remained focused on broader team evaluations rather than discussing one individual player. That approach only fueled further speculation online, where supporters were eager to hear more direct acknowledgement of Clark's contributions. For those who had spent the previous day celebrating her record-breaking debut, the absence of extensive discussion about her performance felt unusual. Eventually, attention shifted toward Clark herself. Fans wondered whether she would address the controversy directly, especially given how intensely social media had reacted throughout the game. Many expected at least a subtle expression of frustration or disappointment regarding how events had unfolded. Instead, Clark's response was notably measured. She spoke about the challenges posed by Puerto Rico's defensive approach, acknowledged that the offense had experienced periods of inconsistency, and expressed confidence that the team would improve moving forward. That response stood in sharp contrast to the emotional reactions unfolding across social media. While fans debated individual possessions and questioned coaching decisions, Clark consistently directed attention back toward collective improvement. She emphasized the importance of learning from the experience and finding solutions rather than assigning blame. The difference between Clark's public comments and the ongoing online debate became one of the defining aspects of the story. While countless fans argued about what should have happened, Clark concentrated on what needed to happen next. Her emphasis remained on winning games, building chemistry, and helping Team USA reach its full potential. That perspective resonated with many supporters who admired her maturity. Regardless of where people stood on the controversy itself, few could deny that she handled the situation with professionalism. Rather than fueling additional headlines, she chose a path that prioritized team unity and future success. Clark's composure also prevented the situation from escalating further. It would have been easy to make a comment that generated even more headlines or encouraged additional speculation. In today's sports environment, even as the tournament continues and Clark eventually returns to Indianapolis for the upcoming WNBA season, these conversations are unlikely to disappear completely. Her performances with Team USA have already reignited discussions about how best to maximize her unique skill set and whether offenses perform most effectively when she is given greater responsibility as a facilitator and primary playmaker. What remains undeniable is that Clark has already demonstrated her ability to impact games at the highest levels of competition. The record books from her Team USA debut provide evidence of that, and the attention she continues to attract reflects her growing influence on the sport. If Team USA fully unlocks the version of the offense that appeared during those dominant stretches against Senegal, the team could become even more dangerous as the tournament progresses. For now, Clark has made it clear that her priority remains helping the team succeed, regardless of the noise surrounding her. The talent is there, the results have already been shown, and the next chapter of this story is still being written. And a small remark can dominate news cycles for days. Yet Clark avoided that route entirely. Instead, she maintained her focus on basketball. She discussed adjustments, execution, and the challenges presented by the opponent. That level of discipline impressed many observers, especially considering the amount of attention surrounding every aspect of her career. Still, while her response may have quieted some criticism, it did not eliminate the larger questions fans continued asking about Team USA's offensive identity moving forward.